Jacob Dutton, Harrison Ford, finally met Alexandra, Julia Schleipfer, at the end of 1923 Season 2, and he somewhat confusingly described her as if a shooting star could talk. The ending of 1923 Season 2 was rather tragic, as 5 major characters died in 1923. One of those characters was Alexandra, who saw her horrid journey from England to America end in similarly traumatizing fashion. Though she gave birth to John Dutton too, filling out the missing piece of the Dutton family tree, Alexandra died of frostbite before meeting the vast majority of her husband's family. The only Dutton that Alexandra met besides Spencer, Brandon Sklenar, was Jacob. After bringing her to the hospital and trying in vain to convince her to have life-saving surgery, Jacob told Kara, Helen Mirren, about the niece-in-law she never met. Jacob correctly assumed that Kara would have loved Alexandra, and he described her as Mustang Wild and if a shooting star could talk. While that description was flattering, it wasn't entirely clear what Jacob meant by it, and what he was telling Kara about Alexandra. There probably wasn't a more fitting way to describe who Alexandra was, even though Jacob only knew her for a few hours. Why Jacob Dutton described Alex as if a shooting star could talk in 1923. Alexandra burned brightly, spoke quickly and brilliantly, and was as vibrant as a star. Jacob comparing Alexandra to a shooting star that could talk is incredibly high praise and a very apt description of who she was. In almost all of her interactions, Alexandra enjoyed clever verbal jests and witty wordplay, which often went over the heads of the Dutton men. Spencer regularly informed her that he had no idea what she was talking about, and Jacob was taken aback that she was so humorous while on her deathbed. Calling her a shooting star was Jacob's way of saying that Alexandra was clever, charming, energetic, and bafflingly wild. That's how Alexandra lived the rest of her life, as well. Alexandra was, after all, a woman who threw away her marriage to a prince to travel the savannas of Africa with a strapping American man. She even told Spencer that she would never have amputated her arms and legs because she needed to actually go and run through fields. Her imagination wasn't good enough. Alexandra's life may have been short, but she lived it to the fullest, and she burned brightly and brilliantly, not unlike a shooting star. Jacob could see that even at the end of her life. Alex dying in 1923 is a tragedy for the Duttons in many ways. Alex won't be able to raise John II, but the rest of the Duttons have also been robbed of her grace and charm. A custom collage of Kara and Jacob Dutton from 1923 custom image by Yida Chacon. Alex's death at the end of 1923 was tragic in and of itself, but it also has some far-reaching somber effects on the Dutton family. Spencer obviously no longer has the love of his life and soulmate, but John II also has to grow up without Alex's love and care. Likewise, Spencer and Alex might have had several more children together that will never be, especially since Elsa Dutton's narration confirmed that Spencer never remarried. Those are the immediate consequences of Alexandra's death, but her passing also impacted the rest of the existing Duttons as well. Alexandra could have brought a lot of warmth, light, and variety into the Dutton Lodge if she had survived. Kara, for example, would have been delighted to have someone who was her match in conversation. Likewise, Jacob's retirement would have never been boring if he had Alex and her adventures to follow along with. Alex's presence may have even been enough to convince Elizabeth to stay after Jack's death, as she would have brought the culture and sophistication Elizabeth was heading east for. The entire Dutton saga would have been different and happier if Alex had survived 1923.